morning from the cottage. I'm about to go for a morning swim, which is something my grandma used to do, so I'm keeping her legacy alive. That's what she did every time she was near a lake, no matter the season, no matter the temperature or the weather. So I'm going to do that too. Refreshing. The water should be 20 degrees, but the first time you go in, it always feels cold. This is definitely the best way to start any day. I wish I lived by the water. Morning swim done. Now I need some coffee because then it's time to proofread Lumi and revolve. I've got my laptop here. Coffee. In case you're new here, hi, my name is Lottie. I'm an author from Finland and my first English book, Lumi and the Wolf, will be published in September 2026. On this channel you can find out more about my writing routines, my research trips and life in Finland. There's a good reason for why I'm looking this tired. It's my granddad. My granddad's here with me and I don't know if your granddads are like this. But at 5 o'clock, when he got up, because he gets up really early, he opened my door to check if I'm sleeping. Yes, I was sleeping, but after that I was no longer sleeping. And then I was up until 6. And I fell asleep at 6, only to wake up again when my granddad's phone rang at 7. Oh! Yeah, that's why I'm tired. Look at my view. The sun's coming out, I think. If you've read my book, Lumi and the Wolf, you'll know that Lumi learns how to make a fire from Oscar. I learned it from my granddad. You need kindling, I've got some paper and I've got bark. And then you pile the wood on top. And you also need space for oxygen, because a fire needs to breathe. Oh my God. I think there's a bird trapped in there. Oh my goodness, I could not light a fire with a bird trapped in there. I called my dad, who in turn told me to call maintenance, and they instructed me how to take apart the fireplace, which I did. Yes. Yes. Oh my goodness, I'm so relieved. The poor thing is above the pots now, but so what I did is I called maintenance and I asked them how to open the fireplace and if that's possible at all, and they said it was, and they instructed me and I got the bird out. I'm so happy we didn't accidentally cook it. Now the question is how to get it out of this building. The door is open. The bird is gone now. I'm so happy. I might dedicate a forest diary page to it. Getting a fire to burn is not easy at all, but I think I did it now. I think the bark is burning. I won't close the door yet because, as I said, it needs oxygen. Time to do some work. This is my book, which will be published in September, which is under 3 months from now. And this is my final read through. I'm looking for final typos or things we need to fix. My granddad just woke up. This is my grandpa. We say pappa in Finnish.
Hello.
Hello! I made us both some porridge. Porridge is a very typical Finnish breakfast, which I have nearly every day. Yum, yum, yum.
Onko kaupungilla jotakin kriteerejä uudelle?
This is the oldest of all the buildings. It's the main house. That's where my dad stays. That back there is the guest house. And this round building in the front is the sauna. It's by the water and it's got a platform. I'm going to get dressed now and grab my things. The sun's out, which is so nice. I've got my bag of journals. I've got too many journals. I've got my forest diary for nature journaling. I've got an everyday journal for, you know, keeping a diary. And what else? Oh yeah, I've got a sort of scrapbook that I'm keeping as well, that I need to update. So 3 journals, and then I've got the iPad to do some work as well. I'm gonna sit down here by the water. What a lovely place to work. My granddad and I just sang karaoke. He's got dementia, Alzheimer's and vascular dementia. It's not bad, but it obviously does alter your brain chemistry. And one thing it's done to him is it's given him an obsession with singing. We sing so much. And this morning when I asked him what he wants to do today, I thought sauna, swimming, or dipping into the water for him. No, he wanted to sing, and he wanted to sing immediately. But then it was time to continue working on my book until my dad joined us in the afternoon and we prepared a very late lunch. And by late, I mean 4:30. My dad and I just cooked a very traditional Finnish dish, which I translate to cabbage pot. In Finland, all the traditional dishes, you will notice, are things that can survive the winter, like rice, meat, cabbage, carrots, potatoes. All of those go into the cabbage pot. Oh, and berries. These are lingonberries. We serve lingonberry jam or just smashed lingonberries with most dishes, at least most meat dishes. Just imagine the long, dark Finnish winters. Potatoes and other root vegetables, they do survive it, but that's why we have no traditional salads, because salads would not survive. My dad very kindly bought me a reading light so I can read before going to sleep, which I like to do. Time to wake Granddad from his nap. Hallo, tuletko syömään? Kyllä. Pickled vegetables are also very popular in Finland because those too last through winter. I'm not nearly done with my proofread, but it's 5:30 already, so time for the sauna, because I try to go to the sauna and swim every day when I'm at the cottage. I love it so much. It's the best feeling in the world. And it does take the sauna about 30 to 45 minutes to warm up, so plenty of time to continue proofreading. Fun fact, did you know that there are 5.5 million people in Finland, but also over 3 million saunas? That means every other person owns a sauna. Every other person, including the elderly and children and babies, which in reality means some people own 2 saunas. Isn't that wild? Historically, it makes so much sense that Finnish people go to the sauna because the winters are so cold, as mentioned before, so it was the only way to heat the water to wash in winter. I think that's where the tradition came from, but it just also feels really wonderful and rejuvenating. So even though we don't need it to heat water anymore, at least not in the cities, we do in here. But where was I going? Yeah, we still do it. But then I didn't continue proofreading after all, but instead got out my forest diary and decided to journal a little bit. On the left you can see the Arctic loon, which is the bird that makes the beautiful calling sound you might have heard earlier. And on the right we've got blueberries, or more accurately, bilberries. Then I found some bigger sheets of paper which were left over from my other grandfather, who used to be a fine artist, and I decided to paint the sauna. Unfortunately, the paper was quite old, so you can see some little spots all around, which were not intentional, but apart from that, I'm quite happy with how it turned out. I did a little bit of painting. Can you recognise this site? I did get rid of one big tree though, because there's a tree right in front of the sauna. I'm reading this book right now, and it's non-fiction, which means it's a true story, and it's about this lady who takes in a leveret, which is a baby hare, and the hare then lives with her. And even though not much happens, it's an incredible story. I'm enjoying it so much, and I know that there will be an illustrated version for children later this year, so I'm looking forward to that too. And then, while walking back to my room to get changed, I came across this. This is a grass snake, a non-venomous snake that's commonly found near wetlands or lakes. It's easily recognisable by the yellow collar behind its head, which is what told us that it's not dangerous. In fact, grass snakes are protected by the law. We only have 2 types of snakes on the Finnish mainland, which are the grass snake and the European adder, which is venomous. I guess it had enough of us staring, so it disappeared underneath the main cottage, which is a good thing because it might eat the mice that live there. Oh my goodness, that was the first time I saw a snake up close here at the cottage. It wasn't venomous, so that's good, but it was very exciting. Sauna time! I'm sweaty from the sauna, but the first dip always feels so cold. So I think I'm gonna jump.
Ei tää kylmällä nyt tuu yhtään.
I'm going to wash myself now. So this is where I get the hot water from. We've got the fire below, so it heats the water. And I mix it with cold lake water. But if you wash in the sauna, as I just did, it's incredibly important to rinse in the sauna as well, because we don't want any shampoo or shower gel in the lakes. The chemicals in shampoo trigger toxic algae blooms, which harms fish and damages the microorganism of the lake. I'm so grateful for the nature and the forests and the clean lakes in Finland. We must do our best to preserve them.
Hyvää ruokahalua.
Kiitos.
While I was still swimming, the others had prepared a beautiful barbecue dinner. And when we were done eating, I decided to get out my forest diary and paint the view. I keep saying this, but I'm so happy I picked up drawing and painting again this year. I drew so much when I was little, but then I didn't for a long time, and it's just wonderful to do it again.
Aika hieno, kato. Niin on ne jos. Nyt on joo.
It's 10:30 at night, by the way. Look at how bright it is. It's only a few weeks since midsummer, and during midsummer the sun doesn't set at all. Can you imagine? It's nearly 11 o'clock now, but it's still this bright outside. That's a Finnish summer for you. I've been drawing in my forest diary the protagonist of my upcoming novel, Lumi. She keeps a forest diary, and so do I. So painted the view, the platform, then the spotted flycatcher I saved. Here we've got a, what is it called? A black-throated diver, which is called a kuikka in Finnish, because the sound it makes sounds like kuikka, kuikka, kuikka. We've got some blueberries, or more accurately, bilberries, because we've got quite a few ripe bilberries already. I've been eating them, and I might draw some little wild strawberries here as well. And then the common lizard and the grass snake we saw, which was so exciting. But as I said, it's very late, so I'm going to go to sleep now. Thank you so much for watching. You can now pre-order Lumi and the Wolf, and when you read it, you can envision me here writing it, because I wrote it here last year. There's a video of that too, and I proofread it here as well. Can't wait for you all to read it. And if you pre-order it, I will be very grateful, because that's a great way to support an author. But I'll see you in my next video. Until then, make sure to follow me on Instagram, because I'm much more active on there. And I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Good night.